Good evening, all of you. First, the most important book, which I can say that it is the 7th class NCERT book. Okay. Basically, this book is part of geography, which is comprising of much about the environment. Okay. Basically, for NCERTs, if you talk about environment, two books you have to refer. One book is the 7th class NCERT, which is our environment. And other is class 12th biology. Okay, in this the last few chapters are for the environment perspective. So in that case, we can say that we can easily target our NCERT part, that is the environmental part. So we have around 9 chapters. What is the role of the carbon dioxide? Okay, let me tell you what is the role of carbon dioxide. What does carbon dioxide does in the environment? See, remember, carbon dioxide is present in the air. Carbon dioxide, which is present in the air, okay, its job is to absorb the infrared radiations. Okay, carbon dioxide job is to absorb the infrared radiations. Now, remember, very basic, if you take sun, see, the responsibility of the sun is to emit things. The responsibility of the earth is sun is to emit. So what does it emit? Sun emits visible and invisible rays. Okay, so sun emits visible as well as invisible rays. So all this are being captured by the earth. All this by be captured by the earth. Earth is always protected by the atmosphere. Now, when these have been captured by the earth, remember, carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere. Visible is those light which we can see with our eye. Very simple language I am using. Invisible are those which we cannot see with our naked eye. Example of invisible are IR rays, UV rays. All this will be part of invisible. All visible and all invisible are being emitted by the sun. Now they all will be absorbed by the earth. That means carbon dioxide, which is present in the atmosphere, this is very much transparent to incoming rays. Carbon dioxide, which is present in the atmosphere, what will happen? It is very much transparent. It will allow the incoming rays to pass through. This is the first point. Carbon dioxide acts as an opaque. That means something which is going out from the earth, it will stop, or it will try to absorb. All right. So how does this look like? That we will check now. For example, the rate of absorption. Okay. For example, take a case of sun. I told you the job of the sun is to emit all the visible as well as the invisible rays. Now, what we receive from the sun, what we receive from the sun, these are the short waves. Remember, this is very important PT question. What we receive from the sun is the short waves, which are directly reflected on the earth. Short waves are the one which have been emitted by the sun. Okay, and earth has its own atmosphere. These are called as incoming solar radiations. What gets emitted from the earth back to the space are long wave terrestrial okay radiation. What gets again reflected back from the earth are long wave terrestrial radiations. So carbon dioxide is present in the atmosphere, and carbon dioxide is acting as a very important gas, because carbon dioxide will absorb a lot of the emissions which have been emitted from the sun, and carbon dioxide will be acting as a very important object which will try to absorb. Now, one simple point here I wanted to tell you. Now, take this as a wavelength. Take this as the wavelength. So difference between two waves is indicated by the lambda wavelength, and difference between two waves again is indicated by the lambda. Now, this is a wavelength. You look at the distance, it is short, and this is the wavelength. You look at the distance, which is long. So when the distance is long, these are outgoing. When the distance is short, these are incoming. And which are most powerful? The short. This was asked in your exam prelims. All right, this was asked in your exam prelims. The short length wavelength, the short wavelength, shorter is the wavelength. Shorter is the wavelength. Here, remember, more is the energy, because these are directly reflected from the sun. Shorter is the wavelength, more is the energy, high will be the temperature, because these are directly emitted from the sun. So you have to remember short wavelength, more energy, high temperature, because these are directly emitted from the sun. Longer wavelength, less energy, less temperature. Longer wavelength, less energy, less temperatures. These are the outgoing. Outgoing means which are being reflected back from the earth, which will go back to the space. Okay. Now you have to remember what are the solar waves. What are the solar waves? Solar waves means which are emitted from the sun. This was asked in your exam. Which are short term, which have high energy, temperature is very high, okay, and the formation gap will be very short, and these are very powerful. These are very powerful. So see, NCERT doesn't teach you all this. You should understand few things, because examiner will take NCERT book. He will take few things from NCERT book like albedo, what is ecosystem, what are short waves, long waves, what are IR, how UV impacts ozone. You have to link with current affairs. You have to go little bit depth. It is not like directly you pick it from the NCERTs, you read and you leave. No. Okay. So out of this slide, what is that you have learned? What are incoming? What are outgoing? Out of which of the following is most powerful? Okay. So which of the following is most powerful? If I say short wavelength, long wavelength. Atmosphere has a very important gases. Okay. Few gases, forcing gases which is dominating here. I mean, like, which will absorb, which will force back the gases back to the earth. Okay, I will show you later in the next chapter. We will discuss all these basics. You will be much clear about that. Okay, so one gas which is transparent, one gas which is transparent. Okay, and the gas which is also opaque. This was also asked in your exam. One gas which is transparent and the gas which is also opaque. What is the answer? Is the carbon dioxide. All right, is the carbon dioxide. Okay, so what are the two permanent gases in atmosphere? What are the two permanent gases in atmosphere? What are the two permanent gases in atmosphere? Okay, too good. Nitrogen and oxygen. Yeah, good. So two permanent gases. One is nitrogen, other one is oxygen. Remember, these two are the most important permanent gases. Nitrogen corresponds with 78 percentage, oxygen with 21 percentage. Okay, overall this comes around, I guess, 99 percentage. 1% you have other gases which you call as an inert. You have like argon, krypton, xenon, radon. Okay, xenon, helium. Okay, and hydrogen. Along with that, you also have hydrogen. These are like the gases whose ratio. Okay, elements here and there, it will rotate. All right, so this is like few things which you should know as part of your environment classes. I mean, like, very basic things we should know it. And in the later class, I will teach you what is the meaning of the aerosols. Okay, what is the meaning of aerosol, and what is black carbon? All right, what is the meaning of aerosol and what is the black carbon? Okay, this, as we go ahead in your NCERT, when we take 12th class NCERT, I will teach this black carbon, because black carbon is always in news. Okay, black carbon is always in news, so you should make some efforts to read news and link your NCERTs. All right, next, most importantly, we'll go back now to the basic contents. Can someone tell me the list of greenhouse gases present in the atmosphere? Greenhouse gases will maintain the temperature of the earth, will maintain the temperature of earth. All right, so these are the greenhouse gases which will maintain the temperature of the earth. So greenhouse gases are present in the atmosphere. Okay, imagine this is earth. So you have greenhouse gases everywhere. across this atmosphere, and greenhouse gases concept is greenhouse gases can increase, greenhouse gases can decrease. If greenhouse gases increases, what will happen? I told you, like earth, the sun emits visible and invisible rays which have been absorbed, most of them which are short wavelengths, and emitted are long wavelengths. All right, and these long waves which are emitted, which are IR, infrared. Okay, this is one question which was asked in UPSC. Carbon dioxide, okay, which is a greenhouse gas. Carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas. So here, Earth, for example, sun emits short waves, Earth will absorb few, and other will be re-emitted back to the atmosphere. These are the long waves. The long waves are nothing but the infrared. Very important question. The long waves are nothing but the infrared. So these infrared, okay, which are nothing but the long waves, these infrared IR, which are nothing but the long waves. Okay, now this is absorbed by carbon dioxide. So this was the question asked. Carbon dioxide absorbs not the incoming UVs. Carbon dioxide is transparent to other invisible like UVs. Carbon dioxide is opaque. Okay, carbon dioxide is opaque to infrared, which is re-emitted back from the earth. But what stops UVs then? UVs are very dangerous. Who stops UVs? We have been protected. We have been protected from UV. Who stops UV then? Very good. Very good. Excellent. Excellent. Ozone. Ozone will stop UV. We also have another greenhouse gas, which is ozone, which acts as a blanket, which will stop the UVs. It doesn't penetrate till carbon dioxide because UV is stop in the earlier case. Ozone is a very dense gas which is acting as a blanket which protects the earth. So UV gets completely trapped by this ozone, and the other invisible light pass on through carbon dioxide, reaches earth. Maximum it will absorb, other is re-emitted back. So the re-emitted back is infrared ray, okay, which is of long wave, that is getting trapped by carbon dioxide, which is acting as an opaque. I hope this is very clear and this is very basic. Now more IR radiations, more is being trapped by carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas, right? More greenhouse gases means more carbon dioxide emissions. More carbon dioxide emissions means carbon dioxide is absorbing. Carbon dioxide is absorbing more IR. That is the meaning of that. Carbon dioxide is absorbing more IR. That means carbon dioxide is heating the earth more rapidly. Okay, this is the meaning of that. That means in a simple diagram, if you want me to show, this is the sun. Okay, so this is the sun. It emits lot of short waves, visible, invisible. You have example UV rays. So they have been stopped here by the most important layer, which is ozone. Few visible and invisible will pass through, consumed by earth, rest is emitted back. These are the long waves, which are nothing but the infrared. These are in the range of infrared. Now these infrared now is absorbed by the carbon dioxide. More carbon dioxide, more absorption of IR. More carbon dioxide, more absorption of IR. More absorption of IR, more heating. More heating resulting into global warming. And climate change. Okay, these are the few important basic things we should understand, because most people don't understand what is IR, what is UV, how it is being reflected, what is short wave, what is long wave, what is this wavelength. Okay, and what will happen if the greenhouse gases emissions percentage is very high, more carbon dioxide, more absorption, what is different between global warming and climate change, etc. Okay, so these are the things which we are going to target, the basics. We'll study one class completely about ozone. We'll study one class completely about a few conference treaties, etc. All right, so here let me go back to the first chapter. Here in this, remember, I ask you like to highlight a few things here. Those are, see, this you need not even go through, because these are the general discussions where the people make, and few things might not be important, but just remember few people for the beginners. Lithosphere, litho, terrestrial based on the land, you have to remember this. Water, hydrosphere, air, atmosphere. Okay, living things, biosphere. Remember, bio is nothing but the life. What is the meaning of biotic and abiotic? See, as I told you just now, bio means what? Bio means life. All right, so bio means here it is a life which is very important, and here you'll make sure that this is a part of very important option. Sometimes the questions can be asked, the land part. All right, so this is terrestrial. Okay, water, hydro, atmosphere, living things, bio, which is nothing but the life. All right, and next important thing here, few things which you should understand here is the first part, which basically few things you can underline there, what comes under the important aspects. See, for example, you read biotic, what comes under biotic, what comes under abiotic. See, basically biotic means what? Biotic is nothing but the world of living organisms, example plant and animals. So highlight this, I will give that in your handout, so that this means that biotic means it's a component of life. Okay, biotic means it's a component of life, and if you take abiotic, other than life, that means what? Non-living. It's a component of the non-living things. Now you can just highlight there the world of non-living elements. Now if I take environment, it is nothing but a combination of the natural and human-made phenomena, while the natural environment refers to the biotic and abiotic conditions living on the earth. See, in the earlier exam he has given few examples. few examples, okay, relating it to the current affairs, like what are part of abiotic, what are part of biotic. Do you think he has given you so simple so that you can easily answer and get marks? Okay, no, not at all. He has given you very confusing options, which are considered under abiotic. So in the next coming sessions, I will take those so that I can teach you what comes under abiotic and biotic. All right, we can go to the next important slide. Here it is a very basic, so definitely I have to cover the entire area. So lithosphere, you must be knowing lithosphere. What comprises of litho? Litho is nothing but the land area. Okay, so the land area, or we can say the crust part of the earth area. So which comprises of what? All the mountains, plateaus, plains, valleys, etc. See, make a thumb rule. Even though you know, you have to follow instructions and you have to highlight, because don't take it granted that this is just a 7th class book. When I was questioning about the IR and UV, very few were trying to answer. That's it. Other few people have gone completely wrong. So what are short ways? What are long ways? So immediately while discussing, I will take you to the immediate to the current affairs. That means both the things we have to link. And even if this is a very basic, then also you have to follow the thumb rule of highlighting and maintaining your book. Okay. Now, what are the other aspects of the environment? It is the hydrosphere. Now, hydrosphere means what? It is related to the water. Lithosphere is related to the land. Hydrosphere is related to the water. Okay. Atmosphere is very important for your exam. So atmosphere, that means what? A thin layer of air that is surrounded around the earth. Okay, so what is that holds here? Most important point he has given is the gravitational force of the earth holds the atmosphere around it. So one important point here you have to highlight, that is the gravitational force will try to hold. Very important point, the gravitational force of the earth holds the atmosphere around it. He might ask you, what holds the atmosphere around the earth? It is the gravitational force. See, you have to search such bits, you have to highlight such bits. Okay, and you have to make sure that you mug up such things or try to understand. See, it is not a general ecosystem that atmosphere has been placed there, or it is having some functional work. Definitely atmosphere is doing some functional role, but it is in compact because of the energetic forces which is acting, which is called as the gravitational force. Next point, what is the importance of this area? What is the importance of this area? Here it says that it will hold, I mean, like across the atmosphere, and it will help us to avoid this harmful rays, scorching heat of the sun. It consists of a number of gases, dust, and the water vapor. So please highlight this. Another important point, it consists of number of gases, dust, and also water vapor. We highlight the water vapor separately, and later case when I'll teach you water vapor cycle, I'll clearly explain you why do we always show water vapor as separate component, and why do we say that always water vapor is abundantly present. It is abundantly present, but it is not dominating. Underline this and write in your class notes. Water vapor is abundantly present, enormously present, but it is not dominating. Okay, carbon dioxide is not that abundantly present. Carbon dioxide is not that abundantly present, but it is dominating. But it is dominating. All right. Now, the changes in the atmosphere. All right. The changes in the atmosphere produces changes in the weather and the climate. Obviously, that is true. So, what makes a biosphere? Biosphere, I told you, bio is nothing but the life which comprises of the plant life and the animal life, okay, and which are being supported by water, air, land, etc. All right, so these are little basic things which you should highlight as part of your class notes. Okay, and the what comprises of the ecosystem at a NCC camp Ravi class was attending. So don't get confused who is Ravi, or you might go back to first page and all. Don't waste your time. Ravi is that person who is present always in your class. One person will always be in your class with the name Ravi. Okay, one person will always be in your class with the name Rahul. So Ravi and Rahul are the most common names. That is the reason they use the names very frequently in your books. Okay, Ravi Teja Ravipudi has raised his hand. One Ravi is always common in my student list, and one Ravi is always common in the Zoom classes. Okay, now here there is a term called kicker and a sand as far as the eyes can see, but you can also find camels. We get no rains, we see only kicker. So what do you mean by kicker there? What do you mean by kicker there? We get to see Hira from Jaisalmer exclaimed, we get no rains. Jaisalmer is a place in Rajasthan. Okay, Jaisalmer is a place in Rajasthan. We get no rains, we can see only kicker and sand. What do you mean by kicker? Kicker, gum tree, stones, pebbles, dust, stone type. That's true. Okay, it's a type. It's a type very much related to the stones. Next, okay. Next point. Oh yes, very much so. The teacher replied. So you don't go into all such things which are not useful for you. Just give a read. That's it, and close that. Now, human environment. When we come to this concept of human environment, just whenever you get to see such statements, all right, make sure that you highlight this barter system. So he's talking about the barter system. It is a trade in which goods are exchanged without the use of money. This I have taught you number of times in economy. So you need not worry about that. That will be covered as part of your economy NCERTs. Okay. Next point is the human environment. Here, let me check whether we can get a good quality points or not. See, human beings interact with the environment and modify it according to their needs. That is true. As per their requirement, they fulfill. Okay, they learn how to grow crops, domesticate animals, etc. This will never be asked. You don't worry about this. Transportation become faster. Overall, yes, definitely it is faster, and it has become so fast that now we got Rapidos also. Noori, such a nice name. A girl from Mizoram from Ravi's class. Why girls are always from Ravi's class? Nuri, a girl from Mizoram from Ravi's class, often talks about the lush green surrounding of her place. Seeing Ravi upset at having lost his playground, Nuri invited him to visit her home street. Okay, during the coming vacation, no one invited till me, neither my students to their village, to their hometowns, to their places, etc. Ravi's teacher asked the students to draw the landscape, houses, and activities of the people and places they visit during the holidays. This is not needed for you because these are for those kind of things which will be covered as part of your basic books.